Hello everybody, well welcome back to MS.ABA's channel. So I revived the channel. Now as you can see, I'm being more active. Yay to me. Creating more content, talking about a lot of things, music, culture, maybe beauty things, I don't know. We're just gonna see where it's gonna go. But hey, welcome today to my channel. So today we're actually going to talk about a topic that is very well familiar to my Africans, especially living outside of the continent. So people are asking me, you know, my African brothers and sisters would say, you're even Dutch girl. But we still have culture shocks. So here we're going to talk about some culture shocks that even come from a Ghana girl, born and bred in the Netherlands, yes, for even somebody like me. Because home is where the African culture lives, and outside is where you go, obviously, to be surrounded with all kinds of beautiful people. So let's break down these culture shocks in the Netherlands. So here are my few Dutch culture shocks. Yes, even from a Ghana girl like me, was born and bred here. So let's do this. Number one, so the Dutch literally eat at 6 p.m. Basically, you know, Africans, we eat by heart. We eat when we're ready. We eat, you know, somewhere in the evening, which I must say the 6 p.m. eating time is not a bad idea at all. High carbs, you know, at a time where you can still process it and still be all right. That is cool. I have slightly adjusted to the 6 p.m. thing. I don't eat at 6 p.m. sharp, but, you know, somewhere along that time. So as a little girl growing up, I would be the type that would go to my friend's place right before 6 p.m. and ring the doorbell to play. But of course, they wouldn't open the door because Dutch family, they would sit down and eat. Are they inviting you to come and eat? No, not at all. Because it is quite of a tradition to basically cook what, as for many people, they are around. So best believe that, you know, the dish that is prepared for people eating, it is potato portions for 4 people, 4 pieces of chicken, veggies, and probably dessert for actually 4 people. I know, Africans don't do that. But that's a shock that you might get. Culture shock number 2, Dutch people at lunchtime. So lunchtime is not your traditional warm food or anything of that. It's simple. It has to be efficient, right? So it mostly is a sandwich with something spreaded on it. Cheese, ham, what else can you put on there? Chocolate sprinkles, as we call them, hagelslag. What else is there? You have your wide range of meat that you can put on. Chicken fillet, but as long as it's probably 2 slices, not too high in carbs, and off you go. So this is something that even as a Ghana girl, you know, you grow up with. Not everybody, because I did, you know, I remember one friend actually for lunch that was an African. They have a dish that looks like a mucho. My Ghanaians know, which is soup and a rice ball. They have their kind. This, my friend brought it to lunch to school and like actually asked for, can I heat it and sit down with his hands? I was like, you are a boss. You are a boss. But you know, you can do that every now and then. But if you are growing up, especially the time, things are fast paced. You know, lunchtime is about 45 minutes. If it is an hour, then you're quite lucky. So, you know, bread culture is really strong and I've let it go. You cannot tempt me with, what's it called? A bread with cheese or ham on it and just have that for lunch. I would be so sad. It would mess me up. I would just be no. So most likely for Dutch food, if I go for Dutch food, I'm most likely to go, if it is bread, you know, I would have it with a koket, which is like, it's not meatloaf, it's like a meat kind of, let's say it's meatball or meatloaves related, so to say. You put that on the bread, and that is quite cool. So bread culture is definitely one, and for a lot of international people I've engaged with, they hate it. They can't adapt to it, and it's fine. but it is very efficient. Yup. Dutch culture number 3, splitting bills. Splitting bills is normal. People ask, of course, from other countries. It's quite normal if you hang out with friends, you know, you all put some money together. I mean, not everybody is as rich to like take on a bill of 250 plus euros, right? Let's say if you are with a group of friends, and it's not expected to. But the Dutch are really, really keen on splitting the bill, and sometimes even that much that giving back 250 euros or something is required. And you should not get offended by it. That's just the way in Dutch culture things are done. It's not so much Africans. Africans have a different way of treating things, sharing aspect, you know, or giving once and then have somebody else give the other time, and somehow create some kind of, you know, way of giving and creating that environment to give. Or let's say if it's not, you know, above 50 euros or 100 euros to some, you know, then there is, you'll less likely find Africans really getting into and fighting, you know, about the cents and the smaller euros. But the Dutch do. And that is why one thing really works here, Tikkie, which is a way to send somebody a link and have them to pay back your money. All right, so people there, some friendships has broken up because of Tikkie. Okay, there was one story circulating that one girl went to shower at his friend, and because, you know, her bathroom was being renovated or I don't know, refurbished, something was being fixed, and she showered there at a friend's place and stayed the night. And after the day, she received a payment request, which we call Tikkie, to pay for the shower and the spending of the night. Yes, people. Dutch culture number 4. This is probably not something that a lot of people would mention. You would not find this on the list of Dutch culture songs. You will not find it. But for Africans, it's quite important. Now, when it comes to weddings, Africans dress, okay? We dress. I don't care which kind of African you are, whether you're from Tanzania, Kenya, Nigeria, we dress. You know, we come, we dress the part, we put on, if you're female or a woman, you can rock some heels and a good shine, colorful dress and some makeup and really looking like, you know, dress. We do it. We do it definitely. For occasions, we do. And the Dutch are not as likely to do that. You can pretty much show up, you know, at a wedding, looking maybe, you know, some kind of trousers, maybe a nice top or anything, but you could pretty much, you know, come with your sneakers and just be okay. It doesn't matter. It's just really that. So it's really, really simple thing. Now, I haven't seen an African yet that has adjusted to that. Maybe a few, but I haven't spotted them. But you know how important dressing is for Africans. We dress, we wear every day, shine. Another thing, a culture shock, would probably be the planning culture. Planning, which is super good. The Dutch are super efficient, okay? They calculate things based on how fast and how quick and how best can I get things done, which is super, you know, which is like something that is amazing to be able to do. But the planning culture could sometimes get a bit out of hand. So let's say, for instance, you want to meet up with a friend, especially if you're pushing 30s, you know, busy life, work, this and this happens, and you just want to stroll along and be like on a Sunday, hey, you know, should I come? Let's have a night and just watch a movie or something like that. And usually, you know, your friend can make some time off, but not traditionally with the Dutch, because they schedule everything. They'll probably tell you, you know what, next month or in the first week of April, I think I have a spot there, then we can make it. Then maybe from 7 to 9, then I have some time, because after that I really have to go and watch the kids or do this or do that, which is fine. I mean, we all have things to do, but Africans are not likely to mention it like that, and for it to become a burden on the person who asks you, like at some point you're like, okay, never mind, I'll figure it out. I'll just walk about in the park and go to the movies by myself. But it's naturally the culture. That's really how it is. How to go about it. Simply say that, I really want to make friends. It would be nice to spend some time with you. That honesty will probably give them a boost to make that time and schedule for you. Another culture shock is cycling. For me, it was normal. So growing up here and cycling, you're going to school, cycling is pretty much normal. For a Ghana girl like me, you will not see your parents and their generation cycling. It's just not gonna happen. Maybe a few, but you can count them on one hand. But yourself, as a young person, you have to commute, so you'll cycle. But I didn't realize how much of a cycling country we were until my cousin from Canada came and paid us a visit and saw the amount of cycles at the central station. He was like, yo, I've never seen so many cycles put together and managed like you guys. And I started to think about it. I was like, yeah, you're right. You'll find people cycling everywhere, especially if you drive into, let's say, the town of Amsterdam. People cycling are just probably going to drive you nuts. If the sun is out even a bit, or even raining, there'll always be people cycling. Always be cycling. It's fast, and I do agree. I mean, thinking of efficiency, it probably gets you faster from A to B because cycling just, avoids some kind of traffic, and it's healthy. Dutch people are all about health and all of those things. So I think it's cool. I just don't cycle that much, but that's one good. So these are my culture shocks, you guys, my Dutch culture shocks for even a Ghana girl like me, even somebody who has grown up with all kinds of culture around. In my life, I've grown up with all kinds of culture around me, and of course, being a Ghana girl, seeing those differences, and kind of coping with it. And I must say that there's one thing that Dutch people do well is they are hella efficient. So thank you for listening to my rants or my list of, Dutch culture shocks. I am so grateful. But I really want to know, what are your Dutch culture shocks? And even if you pass through, let's say for a couple of days, and you noticed a few things while you were enjoying the streets of the Netherlands, because there's so much to enjoy here. Share me yours in the comment box. Like this video if you did, and don't forget to subscribe. Catch you on the next.